In this video, we'll discuss how smaller eyes are often associated with introversion, internal processing, and self-reflection. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Face reading tutorial today. As always, when I have to film in my truck, in my 4Runner, it's not my first choice, but it's just the way the week has gone. So I wanted to piggyback off of what I talked about last week, which was large eyes. I think there was even a comment about someone wanting to know about small eyes. So I'm just going to talk about that today. Keep it short, keep it simple. Large eyes, if you go back to the video, you can go up here and watch that video, or up here, wherever the thing is. I'm filming from a different angle, but I'll put a link up here somewhere. You can watch that video on the large eyes and see what that's about. Relates to extroversion and sensitivity. And in that video, what I was talking about with large eyes, the sensitivity often has to do with the external. Because the eyes are used for vision, we can have sensitivity to our environments, things we see, essentially how we receive and take in the outside world. That's a big piece of the large-eyed dynamics. Now, with the small eyes, it's going to be just the opposite. We're going to see usually, statistically, across the board, a bit more introversion. This does not mean that a person with small eyes can't be extroverted. They definitely can be. Typically, they'll have other features. As I said in the other video, they'll have other features that will point to extroversion. The eyes are not the only place, but it is one of the metrics because the eyes are the gateway or the portal to the soul. So when we see the small eyes, usually the doorway to the mind is a bit smaller. This means the welcomeness, how quickly a person lets people in, how big their front door is, metaphorically speaking, but how much they let in. Usually people with smaller eyes, they play their cards closer to their chest. They're usually a little more wired to keep things quiet, and it takes longer to get to know them. And once you do know them, they're very close, but it takes them a while to let people in given the smallness of the eyes. Now, the natural organic question that comes with this is people will say, well, what about ethnicity? And I've done a video on that. So again, I'll put a link up here somewhere, wherever it's going to pop up, on ethnicity and how that relates to face reading and the things to keep in mind. So definitely go check that video out. But what I want to say is, yes, some cultures collectively across the board are going to have smaller eyes than other cultures. Some cultures have larger bone structure. Eastern Europeans have big cheekbones. So you can look at any race of people and say, yes, there are some features that typically run this way within a given culture. And then the question is, well, does that mean that collectively as a culture are some of those metrics true across the board? And I would say, yeah. And people get really triggered by that. People are like, well, then you're stereotyping. It's like, no, I'm not. If you want to look at it like that and make it like that, go ahead. But that's your problem, not mine. Human beings have patterns. Are there emotional rhythms within a given culture? For sure. That's the whole nature of culture. And so follows suit in face reading theory that when we see those smaller eyes, there's going to be those metrics, and it could show up culturally, okay? Any facial feature that I talk about could show up culturally as well. But I want you to keep this in mind that large eyes typically are the extroversion and sensitivity to the outside. And then with the small eyes, we're looking at more introverted qualities with sensitivity on the inside. So it's sort of the opposite. And it doesn't mean that they're fragile on the inside, but it means the things they go through, the things they think about, they process a bit more internally and take things in and sit with them longer than the average person. So that sensitivity comes from mulling things over internally. All human beings do this. Yes, I'm aware, but some of us do certain things more than others. Some of us are more extroverted, some of us are more introverted. So the small eyes, you want to pay attention to that. If you have smaller eyes, the working theory with all of this stuff in face reading is that if you carry a feature, you should use it. It's okay to be a bit more introverted. It's okay to be a bit more extroverted. Whatever your features say, usually what they're saying in face reading is lean towards that, because that's likely your optimal structure in terms of longevity and life force expression and the bolstering of your immunity and all of those things. You have to use the features that you do have. So hope this finds you well. If you have questions around small eyes or any of the things I've talked about, please let me know. Thanks.